You're scrolling Instagram at 2 a.m. and there it is. A painting sells at auction for $12 million. You pinch the screen, blink, and then you remember your friend Mila, who's a brilliant painter renting a studio above a laundromat, teaching one-night class a week and late at night scraping together money for canvases. How did the object become worth a fortune while the hands that made it can't pay rent? That gap between the sky-high price of art and the low, unstable incomes of many artists is everywhere. Today, we're going to unpack why art is often priceless to collectors, critics, and the culture at large, while artists themselves end up broke, precarious, or forced to split their lives between studio time and other jobs. The value of art is not a simple market price tied to the labor that created it. Art means different things to different people: social status, investment, cultural capital, emotional truth, and most of the money flows through intermediaries, institutions, and markets structured to reward scarcity, reputation, and the spectacle, not the everyday labor of making. The result is a winner-takes-most economy where a tiny number do spectacularly well and the majority barely scrape by. That's the thesis. Let's open the black box. Before we get poetic, not everybody who makes art is poor, but many do face precarious income and instability. United States labor statistics show that arts and design occupations have median wages that are not wildly different from the national median, but look closer and you see variation. Craft and fine artists, painters, sculptors, illustrators had a median wage that's modest compared to similar skilled professionals, and artists and related workers include a huge range of incomes, with many at the low end. The Bureau of Labor Statistics notes these wage percentiles and highlights that the distribution is lopsided, a few at the top, many at middle and low levels. At the same time, the creative economy is huge. The Bureau of Economic Analysis counts arts and cultural production as a significant and growing slice of the economy. That sounds paradoxical: big industry, small pockets of creators. But that's exactly the tension we need to understand: industry scale versus creator compensation. Dutch sociologist Hans Abing's well-known book and essays lay out that art economies are exceptional. Different rules apply. There is a winner-takes-all and superstar effect. Only a few artists capture enormous attention and prices, while many compete for the scraps. There is also said to be an oversupply of artists, because being an artist is attractive and lots of people do it, which pushes down average incomes. Another issue is that artists often accept lower pay in exchange for cultural recognition, meaning, or creative freedom. Sometimes those compensations don't substitute for income. Also, donations, subsidies, and patronage distort how value circulates. Put bluntly, the market for art is not the same as the market for widgets. Reputation, gatekeepers, symbolic value, and the story behind an object can multiply price independently of hours worked or materials used. It is indeed true. There is also a lot of gatekeeping that happens. Galleries, museums, curators, and critics decide who's visible. When a gallery puts an artist on its roster, that artist gets legitimacy, collectors' attention, and sometimes secondary market inflation. But galleries don't pay every artist handsomely. Oftentimes, they work on consignment, supporting a few promising names while many others get short shrift. The result? To get rich or even middle-class level steady income, you usually need institutional recognition. Without that, you're marketing to a much smaller, risk-averse buyer pool. Auction houses can turn works into spectacles. A sale that becomes media headlines can jack up an artist's market value overnight, but auctions mainly redistribute wealth. Most of the high prices reward works that are already recognized. The money often goes to collectors, estates, or dealers, not directly to the living artist who sold the piece years ago. The art market can act like a financial market, with speculation, guarantees, and private deals, where price signals are often about investment and status rather than compensation for labor. There is also the issue of curated scarcity and supply. Artists' works are deliberately limited. Editions are small. Galleries control supply to maintain prices. That scarcity benefits those who already have demand. For a new or mid-career artist without collectors, scarcity means the few works they sell don't bring enough volume to live on. People say art is priceless, as if that should magically translate into stable livelihoods. But priceless is a cultural claim, not an income model. Art's intrinsic value, the feeling you get standing in front of a painting, the way a song rearranges your thinking, is real. But markets reward exchangeable value, what someone is willing to pay for ownership, prestige, or investment. Those two values don't line up automatically. A deeply moving small-town mural might be priceless to a community, but generate no direct income for the artist beyond a commission fee. Meanwhile, a painting that functions as a trophy or investment may sell for millions because collectors assign monetary worth to owning that story. When you see a $5 million sale in the press, follow the money. Sometimes that sale is the result of a private guarantee to a seller, taxes and legal structuring that channel money in particular ways, or resale royalties that don't exist in some markets. A large portion of the value in high-end art circulates among collectors, dealers, auction houses, and intermediaries. An artist may not see any of that windfall if the work is resold or part of an estate. The plumbing is complex and often opaque. Like other labor markets, the art world reproduces structural inequalities. Many reports find female, disabled, and BIPOC artists earn less and face additional barriers to recognition. Policies, patrons, and institutional biases make a difference in who gets gallery spots and who gets priced into the upper echelons. That's a social justice problem as much as an economic one. Can we make art markets fairer? Yes, but it requires a shift in how we think about cultural value. We must stop assuming that the spectacle of a $10 million sale represents the health of creative labor. We should value the everyday creative work that makes communities richer and create mechanisms so that value flows back to creators. Fair contracts, public funding, robust resale rights, and community buying. If you're an artist watching this, let's start with the small wins. Document your work, set clear prices and terms, explore grants and co-op spaces, and find a community. Your art has value in many currencies. And one day, those currencies can be made more exchangeable into stable incomes. If you're a collector or art lover, buy direct sometimes. Ask galleries what share goes to artists, support public art projects and local exhibitions. Attend openings, commission work, and vote with your wallet for fair practices. Art can be priceless and the artist can be paid, but only if we stop mistaking spectacle for support. If you love art, show it with more than a like. Show it with your dollars, your contracts, your policies, and your votes.